Everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to the KnitChat Café. My name is Noelle, and this is my friend
Kelly,
and we're coming to you from Southwestern Ontario, very rainy Southwestern Ontario.
Yes.
So forewarned, Kelly's been having trouble with her internet. Say that right up front.
Shocker.
So anyway, welcome everybody. We're a knitting podcast. The Tuesday evening knit chat is kind of our informal little get together where we get to talk to you a little more personally. We do also do a regular podcast where we go through a lot of the things that we're working on in more detail. So we've got a lot of people in here tonight. So I'll go through and give everybody hello. If I miss your name, I apologize in advance. Let's see, we've got Rebecca. Rebecca was in here really early, and Rebecca's from Louisiana. And we've got Louise, Kim. Beth said she couldn't stay. Beth said that her power has been off and her battery's almost dead. So other people have problems too, Kelly, not just us. So we've got Nikki here from Newfoundland and Catherine, and we've got Kim, Maureen, Elaine, Stacy, Beth, Lee, Maurice, Kathy, Trudy, Connie, Gwen. We've got Joan, Barb, Sue, Lise, Margaret, Sharon, Jan, Karen, Pauline, Mary, Teresa, Annette. And Annette, don't drive too fast to get to us. We want everybody to be safe. So apparently the person in front of you wasn't getting home in time to watch Knits and Pieces.
We'll have to send you a card so that if you see them again on the road, you can stop and tell them to go home and watch the show.
That's right. So we've got Nicole, Jan, Sharon, Klaska, Laura, Emily. Whoops, I keep hitting people's names here. We've got Mary waving. Hi, Mary. Let's see who else. We've got Kathy and Donna, Laura, Lisa. Again, I feel like this is like the romper room mirror. We've got Glenda, Sheila, Regina, Gail, Jamie. And if I've missed anybody, I apologize. We've got a couple of Jamies in here, Bobby, Lynn, Sherry, Peggy, Sue. Anyway, hi, everybody. Welcome. We hope that you're having a wonderful week so far. It seems like a really short week for us because here in Canada, yesterday was Family Day, which was a holiday.
In Ontario.
Just Ontario. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think some of the other provinces have it, but just call it something different. Yeah. But anyway, so all day yesterday, I thought it was Sunday.
Yes.
And now today, I know, because when I talked to you, you didn't even realize. You're like, oh, yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, I was thinking, yeah. Anyway, we got the things done, and we're here.
We did. And we're here.
Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. Yep, we are happy to see
like
everybody, talk to everybody.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and happy Palindrome Day.
Well, it's not just Palindrome Day. It's also Ambigram Day. Which means, okay, so the palindrome means you can read it front to back, and it's the same 2022. It's the same backwards, but an ambigram, if you flip it upside down and read it, it's exactly the same.
But if you flip it upside down, don't the twos become fives?
Nope, they don't. Write it out and try it. You know you want to.
I do, but I won't do it right now. But I'm going to.
Absolutely. So
yeah. But it's only palindrome if you start with the day, month, year.
Yes.
So you have to go 22/02/2022.
Yes. So. Yes. And that will segue us into something not knitting related, but who else in here Wordles? I cannot be the only person who plays Wordle.
I know a lot of people do. I don't.
Addicted. I'm just going to hands down addicted. I go to bed late and I could not go to bed before midnight because I have to wait for the Wordle to change for the day. And then I have to solve it before I go to sleep. So, yeah, I would like to know. Okay, I see a few other people addicted to
Well,
Wordle.
they can't have had palindrome for the word because it's too long, right? Isn't
That's
Wordle
right. It can only be
five letters?
only 5, and you have 6 guesses. And
Okay.
I have to say, okay, so I'm pretty proud of myself that since I've been playing it about 20 days now, I've had 2 days where I got it in 2 tries. Two tries.
Well, does
But
it
I've
start off with no letters?
No letters, and you just
okay.
choose a word. And then, but I've also had 2 days where I had to go all the way to 6 tries. So, you know, you're here and then I'm here. Yeah, but it isn't just me. So I make my husband play too, but I make him play at the same time on his own device. So no helping of words, because I like to think that I get it before him, but sometimes he gets it before me. And then Kendall's playing it out west. So we're all kind of hooked. Oh, Petra got it for the first time in 2 tries today too.
Wow.
So and sometimes, you know, when it's a struggle for a word and then you get the word, you're like, oh, I can't believe I didn't get that word. But anyway, if you're a wordy nerd like me, you got to start playing it.
I got to start playing it. Okay.
You have to start playing it.
Okay.
Okay, so now that's just one more person for me to compete with, because I know you'll be texting me. I got it in 3. I got it in 3. How many did it take you?
I will be. Well, Ross and I watch every night that we're home together. We watch Jeopardy. So it's always a thing about if you get Final Jeopardy, right? So every time he gets it, I just go, oh, lucky guess.
Oh, lucky guess. I know. But it's fun. It's fun to have a little competition. And, you know, it's a great little brain exercise to, you know, try to get you to use the words. So, okay.
But that's kind of good to keep your brain going like that. And we find that with Jeopardy too, because sometimes you know the answer and you're like, where did that come from? Like, how did I know that? And you can't even remember where you picked it up or learned it, or our brains are like amazing things.
So there's a few other things. People are
that's what I worry about, Holly, that it might cut into my knitting time.
Yeah, but sometimes it's a little lengthy, but you can
But I guess you can think about it and knit at the same time.
That's right. You can knit and ponder. So there's a few other words in there. Somebody's talking. I can't talk now. Somebody's talking about dirtle, which is 2 words and 7 tries. And there was another one, quordle, which is 4 words.
Oh, someone said nerdle. Is that it?
Nerdle.
Nerdle.
I'm a Wordle nerdle.
Nerdle.
I can't help myself. And I am a little competitive too. So, okay, good point, Susan. Susan says there's only 1 word per day. So it comes out at midnight.
Right.
And I don't know, is it just midnight? Okay, I'm on Eastern Standard Time. Does that mean it's midnight for everybody? Or
well, isn't the guy that does it, isn't he in New York?
Well, he sold it. So it originated in the UK, and then they just recently sold it to the New York Times for a bundle of money. And
because New York would be on the same time as us.
But when I was playing the UK version, it was always still released at midnight. So so Petra says that her daughter
does it
plays in Japan, and she has the word before us. So well,
maybe it's midnight wherever you are.
That's what I was wondering. Is it midnight where you are, or is it just
because that would make sense that Japan would have it before us.
Absolutely. So anyway, it's tons of fun and more than a little addictive for me, and I look forward to it every day. So there's that. Okay,
so I'm going to go back to, before we go on, I'm going to go back to Palindrome, because I had a little Palindrome information to give out here. Okay, so actually Palindrome, when you're
hang in there, people. This is a knitting podcast. We're going to get to knitting. We promise.
This involves yarn and weaving.
Perfect.
Okay, so when you're doing some things, you don't think that math relates into things, or you know, that knitting or crafts involve that type of thing. But like for some things, when you have to measure out a certain amount or count a certain number of stitches to get a pattern to repeat, then the way your yarn is dyed is important. So I've got 3 skeins of yarn here to show you. So one of them is a palindrome skein.
Okay.
Okay. So here's one. So this is Cottage Socks by Fleece Artist. Gorgeous yarn. This color is one that I bought in Bedeck, and it was called Pink Ice. This one is...
And can you explain why it's a palindrome?
I will. Yeah.
Oh,
I will.
okay.
Okay. So this one, these, I won't tell you which one is yet. This one is a skein from Manos del Uruguay. It's their Alegria.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then this last one is a skein by Sweet Georgia.
I have that color.
Do you? And this is their Tough Love sock.
It's River
Okay.
Rock.
So in a palindrome skein, what it means is the yarn is dyed across the skein. So you should be able to hold that skein somewhere and you will see. So I'll hold this one up and you'll see no matter where I hold this skein, the colors aren't across the skein.
Right.
Right. You see what I mean? Like it's
Yes.
different on each side.
Yes.
So that one is definitely not a palindrome skein.
Okay.
Okay. So this one, it's a little bit closer because you can kind of see down here, although the colors are kind of soft, but if you can kind of see, it's sort of almost.
Mm-hmm.
And again, turn it this way.
Okay.
But in this final one, you can definitely see how that's dyed. Now you might think, why do you care? Why is that important? Well, there are certain patterns that are on Ravelry that you can do, that you do a stitch count on one of these. It tells you how to measure it out, and you can get it to come out like in really neat stitch patterns.
Okay.
Now, I haven't knit using it, doing the math, but what I did do is I've got a scarf that I wove. So this scarf was woven from a palindrome skein. So you can see how the blue goes across, and then the middle, you've got all of the green, and then at the end, again, you've got the blue. So you can only get it to come out that way with a palindrome skein.
Okay.
Like, doesn't that, but it kind of neat just the way it pools, right? So that's
very cool. Very cool.
Interesting for Palindrome Day.
Very cool.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
And
it was fun.
That's another way that, words and math come into knitting. When our son was young, he did not like math. Well, he just did not like school. And to try to encourage him, we played a game. We played a game from the time he was very young till the time he was a teenager. He was still trying to stump us. And I think I've referenced this before in another conversation, but we used to play a math game where we would say absolutely everything you need to do in life is going to relate to math. Mm-hmm. And then he would do his darndest to find something in his life that did not relate to math. And then my husband and I, had to find a way that it did relate to math. And let me tell you, sometimes we were really stretching ourselves to come up with something. But like he might say something like, okay, so if you got a flat tire, that doesn't involve math. And we'd say, oh, no, it does involve math because you need to know how many
pounds per square inch.
Pounds, yeah. Pressure per square inch that you have to PSI that you have to put in that tire. And if you make that calculation wrong, then blah, blah, blah. So we would go on and on and on about these math things in everyday life. And that's kind of similar too. It's like math. It is. It's everywhere. It's cool. It really is.
Well, I admit I'm a math nerd. So I love the whole Fibonacci sequence. Like I've woven tea towels, look at using the Fibonacci sequence. Mm-hmm. And they turn out, I don't know, it just makes sense.
I know, right? It's just
and I knit things doing that too, even just put it into a pattern where you've got like, like you do your rows of where you have your garter bumps. Mm-hmm. So that, you start out with 1, 2, 3, 5, whatever the sequence is. And yeah it's cool. So anyway, but we are a knitting podcast. We're not a math podcast.
And Sarah's in here tonight. So hopefully, Sarah, that's our little, when I was a little girl, I wanted to be a teacher. So there you go. That's our little, segue into words and math. And we're all done with that now. So let's move on to some knitting. And so maybe let's talk about what you're wearing. Do you want to talk about what you're wearing?
Sure. This is this Wag sweater by Caitlin Hunter. This sweater is, I've had this sweater for quite a while. I love it. It's a nice weight. It's done in fingering weight yarn. I did mine in Hedgehog Fibers Skinny Singles. And I know the color up here is called Pine. And I think this color here is called Ferrum. anyway, I really like it. I don't know if you can see, I love this lace pattern. I'm
The lace
thinking of
pattern.
doing
So
this
pretty.
sweater again, but just in one color.
Mhm.
And then where this is and where this is, just doing like pearl bumps to make the texture.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool. And then I think I would do it more in a solid color, so you would really get this to stand out.
The lace would pop.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's an
Now, I
interesting
don't
pattern.
very often do sweaters in superwash yarn, but this one has actually stood up really well. Now, it was knit tighter than the gauge that Caitlin Hunter recommends, because I find her gauge is quite loose. So
Loose.
this was knit tighter than that. And I find if you use superwash and you knit tighter, it does hold its shape better. And because it's fingering weight, it's very light. Like I think there's only, 250 grams total in the sweater. So you don't have a whole lot of weight weighing it down when you're washing it.
Mm-hmm.
But and for a single, it's actually stood up quite well. Like I'm pretty happy with it. So, and what about you, Kelly? What are you wearing?
I'm wearing a love note, and it's maybe my favorite one that I have in the love note. This is the one that I knit in Emma's yarn. Thinking about the colors, the main color is Orbit, and then I held it with a strand of gosh, I
Mohan.
cannot talk. Mohair. A strand of mohan. No, a strand of mohair. And the color of the mohair is called Wish You Were Beer. And maybe I need a beer. Loosen up this tongue. I don't know. Anyway, and I knit 3/4 sleeves in it. I think the pattern has 3/4 sleeves if I think back. Does it or does it
Yeah,
not?
I think it does.
I think it does. So this one was using Emma's Yarn makes a hank of yarn called the Hella Hank, and it's actually 150 grams. And so it's a fingering weight, and that's what I used for the colorway, the one Orbit. And I used every little inch of that right to the very end. And I was about this much short when I bound off. So I found something else in my stash that was really close. And then the mohair, I needed 2 skeins. So I have about half a skein left of that too. But anyway, I really like it. The Love Note is just a really quick, super quick knit, and it has a really pretty pattern. And I only found out, or I only realized, I guess, maybe a month ago when somebody was talking about a love note, that these are actually little hearts. I don't know what I was thinking they were. I just thought it was pretty open lace. But anyway, that's my story. So there are the sleeves tight on the love note. They're fitted. I can't get in screen. There we go. They're fitted. But
did you do any decreases? Can you remember?
I did.
Okay.
I think the pattern is just straight, but by the time a sleeve gets to this point, I'm okay with a looser sleeve if it's going all the way down to the wrist. But if I want it to sit on my forearm, then I want it to be a snug fit. So I think I did some decreases, and I tried things on as I was going, and I did the same thing. I'm just about finished my ranunculus, and I've been doing the same thing. I think I've already had that sweater on no less than a dozen times.
To try it on. Yeah.
Yes, because I want the sleeves to be a little more fitted, and I'm taking them a little further because I have lots of yarn.
Yeah.
So I'm taking them down to about, I guess, is that called bracelet
yes.
length?
Yes. So your bracelet or your watch is still not covered up.
That's I could show it. I brought it down with me.
Yeah, there's a lot of people saying in here that they liked knitting this wide, or they haven't knit the love note. I think both of us can definitely recommend the love note, because we've each done quite a few of them.
Yes.
And even if you haven't done it, like there's no limit on when you have to do a pattern by. Like even some of the older patterns, like ranunculus has been around for quite a while now, and I've got a few, and I still would love to do another one. So just because you haven't done one yet doesn't mean that the pattern or the sweater's not, a perfect sweater still to knit. So, and this Zweig's been around for quite a while too, but all of them look so different when you see all the different yarns and combinations of yarns that people use to make them. So
Susan is saying that she thinks she's the only knitter on the planet that hasn't knit a love note. Absolutely, you're not, Susan.
Not
I thought I was the only person that had not knit a ranunculus, and it turns out there are lots of people that haven't knit
that's
one.
Right.
And in truth,
and sometimes
there are only 11,500 people who have knit one. So,
well, the thing is, sometimes it takes seeing one that just appeals to you.
Speaks to you, yes.
To give you that push to do it, right? And I mean, every sweater, is not necessarily for everybody. We all like different styles and different things, and like knit what makes you happy and what you want to wear.
That's right. And you're the boss of
So,
your knitting. So there you
yep,
go. So I'll show this off.
gorgeous.
So this is where I think the sleeve is going to live. So
Okay.
I tried it on for a last time tonight. And now this is where you would decrease more to get at a little bit of a balloon, but this is definitely more fitted. So every one of these have been a decrease. And when I tried it on, it comes just above my watch. So I'm going to do the
I-cord.
I-cord. Thank you. The I-cord bind off. And, but I'm not doing it on the diagonal. I'm just going to go straight. But I love this sweater. I can't wait to finish it up and start wearing it. It's super soft. So not out of super soft. Sorry.
No.
It's Holst yarn, but it's,
Coast.
2 strands. Thank you. It's been a day. Okay. 2 strands of Coast and 1 strand of Titicaca. Also by Holst yarn. So that's where that is. Should be finished this week.
Well, my one sweater that I was working on last week is done.
Of course.
So here's mine. Hold it up so you can see the pattern in the. So this is the Peacock Solo by Lena Holmes Samsoy. And this one is done in, again, it's done in Holst yarn, but it's done in tides. And it's it's a single strand of tides held with a single strand of drops mohair silk or silk mohair. I'm not sure if it's silk mohair or mohair silk. I think it's silk mohair. I'm thinking about when I look at it at Wool Warehouse and it's down near the bottom. So I'm pretty sure it's silk mohair because it's alphabetical. Mm-hmm. And then the back has just like a little keyhole opening and a couple of buttons up at the top of the neck. Really I did my sleeves. The sleeves were actually straight down, but I did them. Sorry, the sleeves were tapered in the pattern, but I kind of did them so that they would kind of be a little bit ballooned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then a nice tight cuff on it. So yeah, so I'm happy with it. Again, that was less than 4 balls of the tides, which comes in 50-gram cakes, or you can buy the tides in cones too. And then that was what I had left of 4 skeins of the mohair. So there's what I had left out of 4 skeins of each. And there you can see too, like when you have 2 yarns that are like not really similar, like they're both purples, but one's darker, one's lighter. And then you just get like a nice kind of, I mean, it doesn't even look that marled. I think it's because of the different textures. So yeah, but really nice pattern.
In this sweater, the base color, that orbit color, it's a cream color with little blips of navy and gold. And then the mohair is gold. Mm-hmm. And from a distance, you see mostly the gold in this sweater, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So that one was fun. So that's done. And it's a little bit dressier. So I'm thinking, I might wear it this weekend because it's my 40th anniversary this weekend. Well, Yay. It's not just mine and Ross's. So we're actually going out for dinner. So I think I might wear that. I thought it would look nice with just a pair of black pants, I think.
I think so too. It's really pretty.
Yeah.
And the weather will be perfect for it because it's still supposed to be cool this week.
Yep.
Yeah. It's also, I know that she's not here tonight. She's out for dinner, but it's Julia's birthday tonight.
Yes, so I saw that.
If any of you are followers of Julia on Instagram, then wish her a happy birthday. And it's kind of a special day because she has a birthday on Palindrome Day, which is cool. Really cool.
Yeah.
40 years.
Thanks everybody for that. I know, 40 years. Can you imagine? Like 40 years ago.
40
years ago. Wow. 5 kids later.
Who would have thunk it?
Who would have? It was funny because I remember Jacqueline was actually born like a little over 9 months after our wedding. And I remember being in the hospital with her. And that was when you actually stayed in the hospital for a few days after you had a baby.
Right. Yes.
And the girl in the bed beside me was having her 5th, right?
And you're thinking, oh my God.
And I was having my first. I know. And she had, her girl was first and then she had 4 boys. And I'm like, and I was thinking, oh, poor lady. Well, 9 years later, a girl and 4 boys. So anyway, but yeah. Anyway, it's been a wonderful 40 years. I can't believe it's 40 years. Like I just can't
That's
believe
a long time. That
how
is a
fast
really long time.
in general that time goes by.
Yep.
It just flies.
We just had our 25th this year, and I think that's a hell of a long time. So
Yeah.
40 is up there.
We were babies when I think how young we were when we got married. I mean, we weren't really young. Like, well, I think I've already said my age on here anyways, but we were 23 when we got married. So it's young by today's standard. Because a lot of the kids are not getting married till older now, but
yes, but
honestly,
if you go further back in history, you would have been an old maid by 23.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. So anyway. Sarah wanted to know if I worked when the kids were little. I didn't work when the kids were little, Sarah. I went back to work when I had 2 of them. So there were 2 under 2, and it lasted only for a month because Ross worked shift work too. So it just didn't work. And then when the youngest one was probably in grade 6, I actually went back to school and became an accountant. So, and then I was actually going to school like at the college level and university level with some of my kids. So that was interesting. So
Janie said she'd like to see some wedding pictures. I think that'd be great.
Next week.
Okay. I've never even seen them. I'm excited.
So like we don't have them up all over the place. We got this huge big picture that we were going to put up. It has not been out of the closet. Anyway.
That's the thing, you love them when you take them, but really, how long is that wedding photo going to come out? But then when it's really old, now's the time to bring it out.
That's
on your
right.
40th.
That's right. We'll bring it out. I'll bring some pictures next week. So
okay. Yeah, I'm anxious to see some.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Janie wants to see
knitting.
some of mine too. Okay, back to knitting. Yeah, we digress again. Oh no, I have things to show. I have more things to show before we knit. Bearing in mind that I've not knit a stitch yet tonight. Okay, so
were we supposed to be knitting? I forgot. Didn't even take mine out of the bag yet either.
I know, right? So I won something on Instagram, and I don't often enter in the Instagram contests, but this one spoke to me, and I said, I'm going to throw my name in the hat, and I won. So I found out last week, and I got the yarn yesterday.
Wow,
I got the gift yesterday.
Fast.
So it's from the Muskoka Yarn Store. Is it Yarn Store?
It's Muskoka Yarn Connection.
Muskoka Yarn Connection. Sorry. Yeah. Yes, it is. And they are up in the Muskokas, and they've been there since 1993. So they've been around for a long time. And they have a new yarn that they've brought in, and it's called the Muskoka Yarn Goddess. And it is exclusive to the Muskoka Yarn Connection. So if you want this yarn, this is the only place you can get it. And so there's a picture of some of the really pretty colors. And Noelle, you're going to really like this because it's
I know.
pink.
That's why I tagged you in the giveaway. And
that's
then
right.
You win it.
And I won it. You can't believe how soft this is. So this is the Yarn Goddess, and this is the colorway Rosy Posy.
Wow, that's so pretty.
Look at that.
What weight is that?
Well, so it doesn't list a weight, but I'm going to say it's a bulky. Yes, it does. Okay, let's figure this out. Oh, yes, it's a bulky. So it's 180 yards, over 100 grams.
That's like an Aran.
You think? I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit thicker than that, but it's got these pretty little, it's almost like a tweedy base because these are not dyed speckles. These little dark spots, they're
more like little naps.
They're little naps, but look at that.
That's
so
pretty.
It came with that, and it came with a pattern called the Posy Hat. Isn't that pretty?
Yes, very pretty.
I love it. So there we go. That, and it came with a bracelet too. A pretty little pink bracelet.
Oh, that's pretty.
So I feel very fortunate to have gotten squishy mail, and squishy mail that I didn't pay for.
Yeah,
must I say. It's really pretty, and this is not a color. I will flat out say it's not a color I would have chose, but now that I have it here, I'm thinking it would look really pretty. I have a dark colored winter coat, and I really like that hat pattern because it's got a nice fold up brim.
Yep.
So it won't make my pencil head look like a pencil head. I'm hoping it will add some width to my head. And yeah, so I'm going to knit that up.
No,
But
it's pretty, very pretty.
So soft.
Well, maybe it's one of those yarns that like it'll knit like a bulky, but it's got more yardage. So it's like, because it's more lofty or something. Like what is it?
Okay, I'm getting to that. So it is 80% merino, 15% baby alpaca, and that's what all that softness is from. And then it's 5% viscose.
Okay, that might be the little net things in it.
Well, I don't know. Viscose is like a nylon. And how do I know that? Because I looked it up today. Because I got some other yarn that I think could be used for DK socks. But more on that later. I don't have it with me. So anyway, thank you. For this. Thanks for tagging me, Noelle. And
No
I was
problem.
super excited to win. So if you want to get some of this lovely yarn, you can go to the Muskoka Yarn Connection and check it out. That's that. I have one last thing to show before I get into some other knitting things, because these are super cute. Miles might be watching. So if you're watching, Miles, look away, because these are headed your way. Your Auntie Alex bought them. These are finger puppets, and they're felted.
Cute.
Look at this little guy, this little mouse. These are all felted, and look at how thick. Can you see how thick that is? Like they're super, super thick. And if you're so inclined for finger puppets, and I love this little, look at, he's even got a tufty tail.
Hell yeah. And his
look at the detail in his face. They're really super cute. This is from a local store in Sarnia called Riverbank Co. And it's on Front Street if you haven't checked it out yet. And they have some little smaller businesses that they sell. And they're just super cute.
So cute, yeah.
So cute. So I wanted to share those two before they get mailed out to Mr. Miles. Okay.
I'm just sticking a comment up here from Mary. And I hit the wrong one. There we go. Okay, so Mary says, have we ever done the chain ply knitting technique with Holst yarn? I don't know what it is. Do you know what it is?
I do not.
Does anybody know what the chain ply knitting technique is? Like I know there's a chain ply when you ply yarn when you're spinning, but I haven't heard of it for knitting. So Mary, we need to know what that is to know what. I've obviously not tried it because I don't know what it is.
Nope. That's new to me too. Something else we have to learn about this week, I guess.
That's right. That's right. So has anybody tried it? Or does anybody know what it is? Anyways, in the meantime, so what are you working on?
Okay. Here's what I'm working on. It's in this little tote box. And again, Miles, if you're watching, look away. Look away.
Okay, Mary says she'll share a video later.
Okay, awesome.
So we'll have to look that up. So maybe we'll talk about it next week after we've looked at it.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Okay. So I am knitting the Christopher Bunny.
He needs another arm and a leg.
I know. He looks like a poor little double amputee bunny, but so it's Christopher Bunny by Susan B. Anderson. And this is the fingering weight version. So the pattern actually calls for you to use, I think, a worsted weight, but then near the end, she says, if you want to make fingering weight, you'll just get a smaller bunny. And I thought that this would be a good size for a little boy to hold and love. He's not finished yet. Obviously, besides 2 legs, what he needs is a little sweater. And the sweater has, it's a Fair Isle sweater with a snowflake. And it's going to be using these colors. It's cute.
Yeah, that'll be
And
cute.
then he also has a little pair of pants, striped pants, which I started. I think I'm going to have to redo the pants. I used the recommended needle size. I think they might be a little big. So I think I'm going to take this out and go down a needle size, but there's the beginning of some little stripy pants for him.
Can't you just make him a belt?
I know. I thought about it, right? I thought, well, if I stitch the pants to him, then they can't fall off. Maybe I'll do that too.
Or if you put a little bit of elastic, like a little bit elastic on the inside, so it'll just bring in the waistband.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they'd be okay, but I just
suspenders.
Feel like they're going to be. Well, he doesn't exactly have shoulders, though. to hold the suspenders up. I think he might need,
Halter.
I think he might need, I don't know. I haven't got very far, and there's only 44 stitches. I can probably take them out and go down a needle size. So, oh, these are a little high waisty now, but I'll give you. I don't
Nerdy
know.
bunny.
Maybe they're okay. I don't know. They do
I
seem.
think they're okay.
You think they're okay?
Then he's got room to gain weight.
Well,
Eating all that bunny kibble, eating all that chocolate.
I love Susan B's little animal patterns. Now, I'm going to say, okay, what I like about them. What I like about them is that she has you start like usually at the head, and then you're just picking up stitches and you're moving on to other parts of the body. So you're not exactly knitting a bunch of small pieces and then having to stitch everything. So I will just pick up stitches here to do the arm and the leg. And her animals are adorable. Like that face. How can you not love that little face? Look at that. So, and her patterns are extremely well written, very detailed, and lots of photos in case you're a little confused at any point. But they're not a quick little knit. Like, despite the fact that he's a little bunny, there's a lot of knitting in him.
And it's fiddly, right? Little fiddly. Because you've got, and it's little fiddly. Circumference. And
so this is definitely not this is a, am I getting, is it a progress or a process?
It's project.
It's project.
Project knit.
Yes, it's a project knit because it's taking me some time. And but anyway, he's super cute.
I know. I'm not a toy knitter. There's some people on here saying, like Susan says, she's not a toy maker, but it's so cute. And I think exactly the same thing. I am not a toy knitter, but when I see those, I'm like, I really want to make one. But I have to make
I would never have thought I was a toy knitter. Never. But darn you, Susan B. You make such cute little animals. And I just feel, so I wish that I had included a photo that I got sent. So Kendall keeps sending me pictures of Miles with his other little animals that I've knit, and it melts my heart. And then it just inspires me to cast another one on. So he's going to be an Easter Bunny gift. And then I have some fabric that has these colors in it. And so then I'm going to make Miles an outfit as well. He won't have stripy pants. They aren't stripy, but they're super cute. And the yarn that I'm using, this is left over from the mittens that we made. Do you remember the name of the Taxis mittens? Yeah. So this is Rauma garn from Norway. Get it the right way.
So is
Norway. The Lamel garn.
Okay.
And we're probably saying that wrong, or I'm probably saying that wrong. But so excuse me, I have just enough of this to make the bunny. And the bunny was knit on 2.5-inch needles. To me, this is really rustic yarn, more rustic than I would ever use. But the way a rustic yarn feels on shiny wooden needles makes my heart sing. I love it. I just love the way it feels. So that's Christopher Bunny. So that's what I'm working on. That and my sweater. What about you?
I finished the hat. See, I still haven't got my sock mojo back, and thanks to everybody for all the suggestions they send us. And Kimmy wants to give us patterns, and there's so many other things that I want to do that I keep thinking I need to pick up my socks, but I just don't. So, but I did finish this.
That's beautiful.
So there's the crown.
Just beautiful.
I just love, I could not seriously put it down. I couldn't put it down. I got you call this a hat head? No, styrofoam. It's obviously a small head, but it's a good way just to show, like, to see the crown and
the crown. And it's also a nice way to block a hat pattern too.
Yep. So this is, it's called Tanera, and it is a pattern by Emily Poulsen, who is one of our viewers, and she is from the Shetland Islands. So, and she has other patterns that she's designed too on Ravelry. A joy to knit. The way she does this crown is ingenious. The way she's got the
I can see it's like the little I'm pointing at my screen. Nobody knows this. And so it's the little braid, right? Around the Yes, it's so
Yep,
pretty.
the way you do that, like the decreases that go up, like it's just really neat, really ingenious. Anyways, oh, Barb wants me to put the name on the screen. Okay, I'll do that in a minute, Barb. I just want to show you. I used Holskarn is the cream color. It's called Ecru. I think it's their Ecru. And that is the Holskarn Super Soft. So in this whole hat, there is 13 grams of the Super Soft. And then the other one, the other color in it is my hand spun Corriedale, which I still have 46 grams left. And I've used this. I had a little over 100 grams. I used it in the sweater that was
And you still have so much of
best.
it.
And I still have enough to do like 2 more hats. It took 26 grams of this, and I still have 46 grams left.
You could
But
do
it's
mittens.
kind of,
You should do
yes,
mittens.
yes, it's kind of neat when you do a pattern like this. And when you've got a yarn like this, which is like the way the colors kind of come in and out is kind of how spin cycles are. Like it kind of will fade to the next color and then another color will join in and you've got a little bit of the barber pulling. But it basically, there's 2 colors there, but like the self-colored yarn does all the work.
Now, did you adjust any of that yarn to get to a color?
Nope,
Because
nothing.
I'm looking at like just above your ribbing
Yep,
where you
I
have that
know.
blue. Like, how did it work out so
I don't
perfectly that
know.
that's all
I
blue?
don't
Like,
know.
how is it that
I
you didn't get a
did.
color shift in there? And then further up, there's an all gold in there.
Yep,
Perfect.
nothing.
It's
I
just
did
perfect.
nothing. It just worked out
That's
like that.
crazy. It's just crazy.
Anyway, I'm going to
how it
put the
works.
name on here, but it's just like that. That is my go-to knitting. Like that's doesn't even seem like work. Okay. There we go. So it's Panera by Emily Poulsen. Yeah, I just want to knit all the color work things. So I've already picked out, once I get my knitting done, I've got a couple of sweaters that I have to finish, but I want to do another all over Fair Isle sweater. So I am going to, I think, soon order, where is it? This kit.
Ooh.
That is by, it's called Loch Lomond and it's by Jade Starmore. So it looks like all blues there, but I put another picture in here of kind of the yarn close up. And there you can see the colors in the.
That's beautiful.
I'm really, beautiful. And that's in Hebridean yarn. So it's from Scotland, the Hebrides.
Yes.
So it's Hebridean sheep, I guess. But yeah, so that's kind of my next. And it'll be interesting because it is steeked up here, but then you knit the sleeves up and then you shape, it's got shoulder shaping and I think you have to sew it in. So that'll be my next. I'll have to get my tailor's ham out there and that'll be my next challenge.
So, that's really pretty. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Yep.
And where would you be ordering that from? You said this is a kit or do you put the colors together?
A lot of her patterns only come in a kit and it is Virtual Yarns in the UK.
Nice.
So, but absolutely gorgeous kits, just beautiful. But most of them, there are some that are just textured as well. They're not all over color work. But like if you look at even the yarns individually, there's so much color. Like the yarns are I guess it's tweedy, right? So there's just so many colors and a lot of the different yarns are just beautiful. Yes, Glenda, it is. It is a beautiful loch in Scotland. And I think a lot of her patterns are named after like a lot of natural areas in Scotland, but there's absolutely gorgeous patterns. And there's both Jade Starmore and Alice Starmore. So they both have beautiful patterns. Basically, a lot of them are sold through Virtual Yarns. They do have a couple of books out too, like they have the Tudor Roses book, which has a lot of beautiful sweaters in it. Yes. Who just said here? Yes, Connie, I don't know what's happened with Kelly. She did tell me earlier, and we did say earlier, she was having trouble with her internet. So there you go. Maybe she's going to pop back in eventually, but she was having trouble with her internet. So but I don't know whether she'll be back or not. We'll see. But yeah, so I would definitely say check out, I'll put the name of the company on the screen here. So it's Virtual Yarns. I believe that they are in Scotland, but absolutely beautiful, gorgeous kits. And the kits come with like the amount of yarn that you need for a specific kit. I know that I mean, you can get a pattern and you can put the colors together yourself, but sometimes when you're working with colors that have so much depth in them, it's kind of nicer if someone's already put that together for you and you can kind of have an idea of what the finished sweater looks like. So, okay, that's good to know, Margaret. Margaret says that she's ordered from Virtual Yarns and the Hebridean yarn is wonderful and smells fantastic. So yeah, so I'm really kind of looking forward to that. And yeah, Teresa, I love colorwork knitting, especially when you do it in the round. I'm not afraid of steeking. So that's, you know, that makes it that much easier because the color work in the round is a lot easier than going back and forth. And when I look at that pattern, it doesn't look like there should be any long floats in it. So I think it should be really enjoyable. Not that, I mean, I don't mind when I've got long floats. I do the ladder back jacquard technique to catch them so that you don't have to worry about your yarn peeking through on the other side. But it's still nicer when you don't have to worry about that and you can just kind of go around in the pattern. Plus, it also doesn't look like the pattern repeat is very long, which is nice when it's, you know, like 12 stitches or less, and you can kind of just, you know, remember it in your head and you don't have to keep looking back at the pattern. That makes it a lot easier too. So yeah, and it looks like the one color, it looks like that blue. Oh, here, I'll put the picture back up on the screen again here. Where are we? Okay, so it looks like the color that is kind of your motif that's going throughout it. It looks like it's all the same color. And then it looks like what you'll be changing when you go back and forth is your background colors. So, and I just really like the shape of it and the length of it. She's got it on with the skirt there, but I think it would be a perfect sweater just to wear with jeans. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting that and starting that. But I've got a few sweaters that I'm working on right now that I have to finish up first. So I'll just show you those. I've made a little bit of progress on some of them. So this first one here is, okay, so this one is Alias. This is by Isabel Kramer. Let's see if I can get a picture in there to kind of show you the detail. I'm down at the bottom hem here. So in the bottom, you put pockets and they go right down in the ribs. So you can kind of see there. I've got my yarn, or sorry, my stitches for my pocket. I put them on my pony lace cord. So once I get down and finish the bottom and cast off, then I'll knit the pocket lining down, and the pocket lining then goes in between those. Now I've got them covered again with my sticks, but it goes in between those cables, and then the pocket goes almost right down to the hem. And then this has got a really nice stand-up collar on it when it's done too. Yeah, it's if you look down here, it's got the cable detail going down the front of it as well. Just really subtle. So this yarn is Barocco Vintage DK. The actual pattern calls for DK, but it calls for a tension of 18 stitches. And for me, that's just a little bit loose for DK. So this I'm actually doing at a 20 stitch gauge. So I just did the math and picked the size that is going to finish up the way I want it. So the lace cords are great for putting in there. You can see I've got them in there. In this case, I didn't need them for the sleeve because this was done top down. You did your back, your two fronts, and then you joined it up under the arms. And then when you go and pick this up for the sleeves, I kind of read a little bit ahead. So you pick up the sleeves all the way around, and then this shapes your sleeve cap by doing short rows back and forth. So I've not done that before in a sweater like this. So I'm kind of interested in that. But you can see the shoulder is kind of set in, so it's not a drop sleeve. So you're going to get a little bit more shape and structure in the shoulder. So again, Barocco Vintage DK. This color, I believe, is called Dungaree. And I think it's just a nice color that will go with, you know, over your jeans. Like how it's working up. I like the feel of it. I like the fact that it's machine wash and dry. So that's one. And then I do have one more sweater that I'm working on. And this one is a sample for Little Red Mitten. And that right now, I don't know if anybody saw today. I think actually there was a comment earlier. I think Sarah said she was thinking of casting on a love note with, let's see, a fingering weight and then a mohair, because Little Red Mitten is having a Hold Me double KAL. So it started today and whips were allowed, and there's different categories. There's like, I think sweaters, accessories, or small accessories, large accessories. I can't remember. They're doing it in conjunction with Full Moon Fibers, and it goes on for 8 weeks. So they've got information, if you go to the Little Red Mitten site on, on the internet, or if you go to Ravelry in the Little Red Mitten group, you can find information there. So I'm doing a sample for them, and it is a Hold Me double. Okay, so here we've got, this is the Cozy Comfy Raglan by Jessie Made Designs. So this is done in Leo and Roxy. This is their mohair. So their silk mohair. This color is called Meredith. And the yarn, the other yarn that I'm holding it with, it's a fingering weight, but this yarn is, I don't think it's their 80/20. I think it's a non-superwash merino, but I'm going to have to check that with Jolynn, but it feels absolutely amazing. And it does not feel like a superwash yarn. So this is, I'm really, really liking this. I'm going to have to do another one, I think, for me, but it just feels amazing together. I love the details in this sweater. It's got a tubular cast on at the neck, and the way she did it was different than I've ever done. The way she did this tubular cast on, really easy to follow and really easy to do. I love the detail in the shoulders, how they do the raglan shaping. She does it with lifted increases, and I really like the really nice tidy line that it follows. So I'm just at the point now, I've got to knit down to the ribbing and then pick up the sleeves and do the sleeves, and that one will be done. So fun, fingering weight and mohair held together. That tension on that sweater is 18 stitches, and it's really filling in nicely, depending on what you're doing. This one was a fingering weight and a mohair held together too, but the Tides is a little bit thinner of a fingering. It's a light fingering. So this was more like a 20 to 21 stitch gauge. So it just depends on what you're doing, what the fabric feels like, but definitely, oh, here, Jolynn's right on here. So she said that the yarn is 80% untreated merino, 20% nylon. Ooh, and it's coming out in April. Jolynn, the yarn feels amazing. So that would be awesome to make socks too out of untreated merino, but it feels amazing. And the sweater's coming along. And again, I wonder what colors it's going to come in. That's the Meredith color that I'm using right now. And it is, if you look closely, like it is tonal. And I am using the helix method in order to do it. The helix means that every row I'm kind of switching. I'm slipping a stitch and then switching to the other. And what's really nice about that too is down the back, you get absolutely no seam line. Like it's just seamless. So I'm really liking how this is turning out. So I'm hoping to have it done shortly, hopefully within the next week or so. We'll see how things go. Yeah, I just got to not get distracted by anything like this again. So, Kelly, you're back.
Actually, my hydro went out. So,
oh, wow.
That's a new one, not just the internet, the whole hydro. And then it took a while to reboot everything. So I don't know what happened. Okay. Is it raining outside? I think maybe the weather.
Okay, I'm just going through some comments here. Okay, we're talking, when we talk about the cord, some people say they tie a loose knot in it. Like I find really, unless you're going to pull on it, it's not really going to come out. I don't, unless I had a really short cord, then I might.
I did have a short cord for my sleeves at the top.
Right.
And one of my times where I was trying it on, I pulled off some stitches. Okay. So then I did just do a knot in there, but they come out, the knots come out really easy. It's easy to do.
And this one I was showing when you were gone there, Kelly, but this one it's great for anything, because there I just have my pocket stitches on the cord.
Mm-hmm. I know, so it's fantastic.
Hanging all over the place.
Yeah. So. I was thinking that what I should do if you're ever struggling. I have like a couple of, I don't know if I kept them, but I had a couple of wooden needles. You know, sometimes the ends splinter a little bit.
Mhm.
I was thinking about, or I suppose I could use just the smallest piece of doweling too, something tiny, and making a point in it. And then you could just have a short, like a little joiner, and then you could join them together. I was thinking about something like that, but I hadn't quite come up with something that would work as a short piece, but I was thinking that might work.
Yeah. Lauren wanted to know, did I say I slipped just one stitch when helical knitting, not 3 stitches? In this one, I'm just doing 1 stitch because, okay, when I did the back, okay, so when I did this, I knit the neck and I did the short rows before I joined in my other color. Well, not my other color, it's the same color, but my other yarn. So I have a separate ball of the main yarn and a separate ball of the mohair twice. If that makes sense. You know what I mean, right?
Yep.
I have a mohair and a 4-ply and a mohair and a 4-ply. So when I joined the second set in, I did it after the short rows. And the reason I only do 1 stitch is because I didn't want to run into the raglan shaping.
Right.
So when I did just 1 stitch, I was across to here. So by the time I split for the raglan shaping, I didn't have to worry about any of the switching being within that raglan seam. And then I'm still just doing it 1 stitch, and you can't tell. Like you don't have to do, it doesn't have to be 3 stitches. No, it's just that you're dropping 1, and then the 1 stitch that I'm slipping is the one that has the other yarn attached to it. Mm-hmm. So you just slip that and then continue knitting around. So, and then because once you get to where you're taking 1 set of the yarn out, what's going to happen is you're going to slip all the way around till you get back to that 1 stitch. So at the end of it, everything's going to have the same number, like every row is going to have the same number of slip stitches. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yep.
So, and then this way, when I did it this way too, so I had my 1 ball that I did my neckband and I did my short rows. So that set of yarn is going to finish before the other one. So when that one comes out, I'll bring the new one in and it'll still be with one of the old ones. So again, yes. I should get like a seamless transition. Mm-hmm. And then when the other one goes out, the other one will still be going. And then you're kind of bringing one in halfway through before you're done. So all 2 of them don't end at a time and you're not putting 2 new yarns in at a time.
Right.
So, but don't be intimidated by helical. It sounds more complicated than it is. It's really not complicated at all.
No. And it makes all the difference when you're using yarns.
Hand dyed.
Well, even that, I mean, I was going to say
hand dyed.
That's hand dyed. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yep. And you might think, like, your eye really can't tell. You might think that things look so close, but when especially if you're doing something and then you just switch abruptly, like, I mean, I've had times where I've had the same dye lot and it looks different. So anyway.
Kim said I could use a toothpick. A toothpick. That's a great idea. That's a good one. And then Sarah said that she did sand the point on a wooden needle to reshape it. She made it a bit too pointy, but it was usable. So that's what I was thinking. And then I keep the cords in, you had put mine in a little screw tip, and then you could keep the little ends in there. But for the most part, I don't find it's a problem. They don't really move. But that's a fairly loose gauge, that sweater that I was doing, that ranunculus. So I think that's if you get into something more like a looser gauge, then it's going to be more likely it gives the cord more room to slip, right? Yeah, absolutely. So hi, Pat. Pat just got here.
Hi, Pat.
Oh, Annie said finally she's
finally here. Anyway, but there's been so many patterns lately. I just want to knit everything. And someone had asked earlier too, I think it was Janie, wanted to know if I was spinning, and I am spinning. I've got my second spindle butt done of my very fine. So I'm going to have my 3-ply, and it should be a fingering weight. So I'm going to try and get that finished up, but there's just not enough time to do everything.
I know. Well, having that third day off gave me a little bit of extra time this week. That was kind of helpful. Yeah, work was a little crazy.
Oh, who knows?
Most people know.
Oh.
Pardon me?
Yikes. I said you were kind of in and out there.
Oh no. So frustrating. I said work was the struggle today. So we have so much, I work at a cemetery and we have so much rain right now. A lot of our roadways are flooded and some of the low spots, like the open park areas, are flooded. And then now today, as of this weekend, our basement at work is flooded too. Oh. And then somebody hit a pole in front of the cemetery, or no, they didn't hit it. We don't know what happened. The top 2 feet of a hydro pole snapped off. So we lost hydro for the whole afternoon, lost our internet. It's been a day. And then I came home. I had no internet at home. And now for a short time, no hydro. But
it's amazing that you have that, because like where you work is not that far from where I live, but we have not ever had trouble with water in our basement, touch wood. But we're on sand. Was the cemetery not on sand?
Yes, we are in sand, but where our office is, the water table was quite low. And when they built the building, it was a known issue. It shouldn't have had a basement. So when we did the addition, we just put in a crawl space. Crawl space is bone dry. It's perfect. So that's what should have been done for the whole building, but it wasn't. And so we fight every year to keep the water out. But that's that. Nikki just started spinning on a drop spindle.
It's another rabbit hole to go down, that you just want to all these things. I would love to be able to sew, but I just do not have room for another fiber hobby.
Well, I would like to spin, but I know I don't have room for that.
Well, it's not even room. It's time.
Time. Well, that's what I mean. Room.
Well, yes.
By room, I mean time. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But the spinning is kind of cool when you have yarn and you actually start knitting with it.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
You're right, because I do not know how this turned out. That those color changes happened.
That's perfect.
The exact right spot. Just maybe if you looked at it closer, you wouldn't see that. But it just. Anyway, it was fun. I actually really like the hat. I can put it on.
It looks really nice on you too.
On my hair out of the way. And it's just, it's fingering weight, but because it's double thickness.
So it's dense.
Yes.
And warm.
Yep. So, and really 13 grams of the whole super soft. So the whole hat weighs less than 50 grams. So we couldn't even put that in a smash or stash because it's not enough grams.
No, right?
Even though it was stash. We should be talking about that too, about our...
Oh, we should be. Yes.
You're right, Marianne. The knitting gods were with me. Anyway. Okay, so we do have a couple of KALs going on. One of them is our sock KAL, which is year-long. And all you have to do is finish socks, something that Kelly and I have not been able to do this year.
I am very close, very close to finishing a pair. Very close.
Anyway, so that sock KAL is going on all year long, but every month at the end of the month, we draw 2 prizes. We draw a pattern prize and we draw a yarn prize. And the pattern prize is donated by Natalie, and she does absolutely beautiful colorwork sock patterns, like gorgeous, like maybe that's what I should do. Cast on a colorwork pair of socks.
There you go. And then that would feed.
That would satisfy both.
Both. Yes.
Yes. Yep. So maybe that's what I'll have to do. Anyway, so that KAL is going on. Let me see if I can find the. There we go.
Yeah, sorry. I was not doing my job.
It is KNP 2022 socks. If you want to post on Instagram, in Ravelry, there is a finished object thread and there's a chatter thread. So love to see what everybody's making. What patterns are out there. You can knit DK weight socks because I know there's a lot of patterns now that use DK weight. That new yarn that Jolynn was just talking about, that's 80% untreated merino and 20% nylon. You could do socks with that.
Yeah, absolutely. You could.
So, okay. So the other KAL that we have going on, and it's going on for 2 months, and I have to find the right one. What did we call it? Was it actually, here it is. Got it.
Okay.
Okay. I'll hide that one. Nope. Did I hide the wrong one?
Yes.
Now I can't find it. There we go. There we go.
There we go.
Okay. So this is the KNP Smash That Stash. Smash That Stash. So that one is going on, started February 1st, goes to March the 31st. And for that one, you need to use yarn that's been in your stash previous to December 31st, 2021. You have to use 50 grams of yarn. And with that, you can make whatever you want. You can crochet, you can weave, you can knit. You just have to smash that stash. Yeah. So yeah, so I've been that one sweater, this sweater that I just finished, that one was actually all stash.
Mm-hmm.
And my hat was stash. The 2 sweaters that I'm knitting are not stash. But I'm going to get in there and I'm going to find something else to knit.
Well,
and it's going to be stash.
My ranunculus is stash.
Christopher Bunny stash.
Is deep stash. My muscle burra, should it ever be finished, is...
Oh, yeah, my muscle burra is stash.
Yes, it's stash. So, and somebody was just... Felted slippers be considered for the sock KAL? Well, they're not exactly socks. Are they like... Well, do they look like socks? You know, because when you say slippers, some people call... like house socks, call them slippers. So if they resemble a sock, like if they have a leg and a foot, I would call that a sock, wouldn't you?
Okay, sure.
Sure. And somebody, I've lost it. Oh, Kathy says that when KnitChat is over, she's casting on a love note and a schwag. There you go.
Yay.
Is it
out of stash?
Hopefully it's stash. Hopefully it's stash. Sounds like she's already got the yarn if she's saying she's casting it on tonight.
Well, when I saw your love note there tonight, now I want to cast on another love note, but I really want to do color work. Now, color work for me, I really do like the finished projects, but it's process. Like I love the process of doing it.
I do too. I absolutely love it. But with any sweater, it's the yoke is all the exciting part, right? That's
well, not if you're doing all over. Not if you do an all over color work.
No, but I'm saying like a sweater like these, right? Or the ranunculus. Like it's everything going on up top is all the fun part. And now that I'm on to the sleeves, I'm like, but I mean, I have done the sweater in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is like an epic time for me. I wouldn't normally have a sweater done that quickly. So that's pretty good. Some people are keeping up on the socks for us.
Yes,
so,
thank you. And there's lots of good suggestions in here. Like Klaska said that she thinks we'd like the après, and I think the après socks. I don't know if they're après or après ski, but I think I know the ones you mean. I think they were the ones that the girls from Full Moon Fibers did, and yes, I really did like those. So,
and Cindy?
Oh.
Or no, who did 4 pairs already? Somebody's done 4 pairs already.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
That is. I think Julia has.
I think Julia has, yes. Yeah.
Someone asked if whips count. No, whips don't count for the
smash
your stash. But maybe later on this year we'll have I don't know, whip that whip.
Crack the whip.
Crack the whip.
Yes. But you can, if you're making socks, whips count in the sock.
In the sock count, yeah. Count. With the socks, all you have to do is finish them and get them in there. So.
Oh dear. Sue says that she's been using stash to knit a shawl, but now she realizes she's going to run out of yarn.
Oh, can you get it anywhere else?
She said it's discontinued.
You should check out people's stashes on Ravelry.
See if anybody would be willing to sell you some.
Yeah, people have contacted me before.
Yes, me too. Yep.
So, So you can kind of have a go and look that way, or maybe you can find something that's close, or I don't know, maybe you can do like the border in a different yarn.
yeah, find a way to integrate another color. I did that with a shawl that I did, the Rod Silder shawl. And but
Mhm.
I was holding it with a strand of mohair, and I think the skein, it was a one skein shawl. So I definitely, I'm not faulting the pattern. I think the yardage on the yarn might have just been a little short.
Right.
So I ended up finding another color, and you know what? I loved the outcome. I thinking I couldn't have planned that any better. And it was a completely different color, but I carried that mohair through both colors, and it really pulled it together. It was really pretty. Um,
Sue thinks we should do an escape from Whip Island, Cal. And someone else had a good suggestion here. Where is it? Petra said if you check on eBay for the yarn, because sometimes you might get lucky. And that's the thing, like you have found yarn, that one yarn that we liked for the CeeLo mitts,
yes,
that baby
yes,
llama, and you were able to find it some places that still had it, even though the yarn had been discontinued. So if
that's
you just
right.
kind of,
Yep.
yeah, if you just kind of type it in and see what comes up, you might get lucky.
Yeah, you never know. You really never know what you're going to find out there. Um, what else? So we're recording Thursday night another episode. So then that should be up by the weekend.
Power and internet, and
Well, we do need power,
we need
but
power.
we don't need internet to record an episode. So that's really good. And so that's what is on our agenda for this week. And um, I wanted to say personally just a thank you for last week. If anybody watched, any of you were watching last week, you know that last Tuesday was a tough day for the O'Connor house. Miss Molly, our longtime cat, passed away. And I didn't think I was going to be able to do knit chat that night. It was just too upsetting. And I came on here anyway, and I got through it. And you were all absolutely fantastic. I felt better for having done it. Definitely felt, surrounded by friends. And I did do an Instagram post and received a lot of comments. So I really just wanted to say thank you for all of your caring comments and your thoughts that were sent in our direction. Definitely felt them, and it was really just lovely, very kind. So I wanted to say that the house definitely feels empty without her. We still have Miss Roxy, but even Miss Roxy is acting just straight.
Yep.
They didn't. Let me just say, there was no love lost between the pair of them. They did not like each other, but they. Roxy is just acting strangely, even for Roxy, and she acts strange on a normal day. So, yeah. Oh, I don't know what that was.
Cindy says we're all family. You're right. We are.
We
Cindy.
are. We are.
One awesome, supportive family.
And I still think back to when we started this knit chat. We had definite ideas and goals for what we wanted it to be, and I will say that I feel like we are where we wanted to be with knit chat. We were looking for a way to build community, for people to work together to uplift the other people in the group, to have an open forum that you can all communicate to one another. And I feel that knit chat has seen its potential. It has done what we wanted it to do anyway. And that sounds like we're making knit chat go away. We are not. We're not. No. Thoroughly enjoying it. We have quite a few people in here in the KnitChat Café now on Tuesday nights. So I know it's a little tougher to get to some of the comments, but we are definitely working hard at doing that. And we love, love, love our Tuesday nights with all of you. Yep. It's we still like to do the podcast too. We definitely like doing the podcast because it just has a different vibe to it. But we love our Tuesday knit chats, and especially the tough time that everything has been in the past couple of years with COVID and being locked down and missing our friends. This has been a perfect outlet. But now that we are here with so many of you from all over the world, we never want that to end either. We're having
and
that's much fun. So
that's
much
right.
fun.
And Yeah. I mean, it's so nice to be able to connect and make friends that we would not have been able to do travel wise.
No, absolutely not.
Even in a normal world, we wouldn't have gotten to all those places.
That's right.
So,
And we've learned so much from all of you. And
yep.
We hope we've been able to share a little bit of what we know, or that came out wrong. Share what little bit we know. Maybe that's what I should have said. And yeah. So
well, to just get the conversation started about different things. So
absolutely.
Or a continuation of the conversation that's going on in the chat.
Yes. And
so,
it's just been very
exactly
fulfilling.
Like it would be if you went to a KnitChat Cafe with all of your friends.
That's right. There's there's a little knitting talk, and then there's a whole lot of other talk, and we never know what the talk is going to be.
On my part, there's very little knitting.
Very little knitting. Yeah, if we were at KnitChat Cafe and there was wine, Noelle would be busy drinking the wine. There'd be no knitting done. Let me just
I knit and drink wine at the same time sometimes. I just have to coordinate my wine color with my project.
Yeah. Mary saying this is the highlight of her week. Her sons and her hubby know that this is her time. That's what
awesome.
That's what we want. We want to know that this is your time. And if there's anything that a comment that we miss, just retype it until we see it, or you can always send us
or ask us individually, because if there's something that you want us to talk about, or like if you message us through the week, we can certainly start with that, or go through, if there's something that we missed or you want to talk about, or want to see if anybody has any recommendations on, just let us know.
This is our Gmail address at the bottom of the screen. If you're looking to send us a message and you want us to talk about something or show something, then we're happy to do that too. But oh sure, Sarah, showing off. She said she got a lot of knitting done tonight.
Well, Sarah, I didn't.
Yeah. So,
but I got a lot done earlier at 5:00 this morning.
Yeah, I got a lot of sleeping done at 5:30 this morning. That's what I got done. So, okay. Well, we are at an hour and 16. So that's about when we usually like to wrap things up.
Yeah.
And
we hope you all have a great week.
Great week.
Yeah.
And if we don't mention this enough, because we say this is not important, but it is important to help grow the channel. So if you joined tonight, if you're here for the first time, welcome. If you're back and you enjoy the chaos and the craziness and all of the shift happening and the internet failures on my part and everything else that we have going on, then please leave it a like and subscribe to the channel, and that helps us to grow the channel. And yeah, that's all we got.
Okay, so we're so happy to have spent this time with you tonight, and we're looking forward to next week already, and can't wait to see what you guys are knitting. Okay, so take care.
Take care.
Happy knitting.
Happy knitting.